Hey guys, in this video I'll be going over my comp tier list for Season 9 of Hearthstone Battlegrounds. It goes over a ton of things that are vital to helping you improve your gameplay, including how to play every single comp, where they rank in the current meta, and also the core cards and add-ons and enablers for every single one of these builds. I'll go through one by one exactly what each of these mean in the video, but first, if you want to go see the website yourself, it is linked in the description. And for the record, I am not sponsored by HS Replay, but HS Replay gave me a platform to host all of these guides, so it'll continue to be completely free as long as I'm working on it. Okay, enough yapping, let's get right into the content. So this is what you see when you click on the link. It's the comp tier list for Season 9 of Battleground that I've been working pretty hard on. I launched it at the start of the season and it looks pretty smooth, and I plan to regularly update it as the meta sort of evolves. We have the S tier comps, which are the comps that you're going to see typically win every single lobby, and then there are the A tier comps, which either still wins a lot of lobbies but requires a bit more pieces to assemble, or doesn't win a lot but can consistently top 4. There's some of the B tier comps where you can go for if you get handed like literally everything from Bob, but not common. And F tier comps I pretty much would never play. They just did a patch where they nerfed literally everything good, so it's a bit unclear about what's good right now. But as it stands right now, I think Mechs got nerfed the least, and also Charging Sareena got a pretty significant buff. So I think Mechs are probably the only S tier comp currently. If we click on the comp, we can first see the core cards for this Mech Magnetic comp. So basically what that means is the comp does not function without these core cards. So this card is like essential to the comp. If you remove it, you don't have a comp. And then we have the add-ons. So the add-on cards are basically cards that you can fill out the rest of your board with. And because this comp has only one core card, there's a lot of options for the rest of your comp. You can run like Grease Spot because mechs tend to run a lot of Divine Shield, so it's a lot of passive scaling. You can run Charging Sareena for the same reason. You can run Mechanome Interpreter to make every single magnetic you generate a lot more stats. And pretty underrated tech is Chameleon, where you just put all the magnetics on one minion and copy it with Chameleon, and that could be very strong. I also have the how to play section of the guide, which is like after you've committed to the comp, how do you play it. So basically the game plan in general, you take Hollow Rover, you reborn it, you Wind Fury it, so you get like a lot of magnets per turn, you level to 6 and start generating Dr. Boom's monster, and then put them on your premium mechs such as Deflectobot or Holy Mech Girl. Holy Mech Girl is here, it recently got moved to 6, and that's pretty much your comp. This comp is S tier. I have the easy difficulty. Basically means how hard is it to execute, how many decisions there are while playing the game. I think this comp is easy in the sense that it's really hard to mess up. You just have the Hollow Rover, you generate your magnetics, you put them on your mechs, and very few decisions per turn per game. On the other hand, a comp like APM Pirates or APM Elementals will be labeled as hard because you have to cycle a lot of cards, you have like a lot of gold, and it's pretty easy to mess up. Next, let's take a look at the when to commit section. So this one's pretty important. In my opinion, when you hit Hollow Rover and you can Wind Fury it, you start generating those magnetics, you can commit to the Mech Magnetic comp, which is this comp. And enablers, basically what enablers are is these are like the cards that you have on your board already, which open up the options to play this comp. So in this case, if you have a Hollow Rover on your board already, you now have the option to play this comp. This is a little bit simpler, but as the comps get more and more pieces, I feel like the enablers will get more and more useful. So we'll check out another example. And finally, gameplay. I opened up the gameplay section to all the Hearthstone creators in the community. They'll start populating the guide and you can check them out if you are still unsure of how to play the comp. Okay, next let's check out this A tier comp, which is Beetle's Beasts. I think it's pretty prevalent in the current meta. It's once again an easy comp to play. You just roll on 5 for your pieces and just put them on your board. So the core cards for this comp, in my opinion, you need the Titus. The Titus will help your scaling a ton. you need the Rylak with the Forest Rover to buff your beetles. It'll keep triggering the battle cry of the Forest Rover, and then you need the Turquoise Skitter to provide that additional scaling. And then once you have your scaling beetle set up, these are cards you can add on to like fill out the rest of your comp. You have the Macaw, you can trigger the Rylak or the Skitter to have some extra scaling. You can have the Bran to pair with the Rylak. You can have the Nest Swarmer to just put a bunch of beetles on your board. Or you can have Ruined Progeny. I never know how to pronounce that. Anyways, it's just to add some extra scaling and beetles. How do you play it? You just use the Turquoise Skitter or the Forest Rylak combo. I kind of already went over it, but just roll on 5 for your core cards. These are probably the more important parts to look out for. So the when to commit section. When can you actually commit to the beetles board? I would say you probably need like significant beetle scaling, so Turquoise Skitter plus Macaw for example, or like Reborn Rylak plus Forest Rover or something like that. Just one Turquoise Skitter probably isn't enough to commit, but if you have like the Macaw plus the Turquoise Skitter, suddenly you have twice as good scaling. And of course, enablers, these are the types of cards that you pick up just because they're standalone good tempo, but they open up the option to play this comp. So if you picked up a Turquoise Skitter for tempo and then you roll into the Macaw, well, suddenly you can commit. Or if you picked up a Forest Rover for tempo and then you rolled into a Reborn Rylak or something, you can then commit. These are pretty vital to improve your gameplay, but also if you want to just queue up a game of Battlegrounds, Forest Beetles comp, I mean, I won't stop you. Knowing the core cards and the add-ons for this comp will still definitely be useful, so you know what to go for. Anyways, hopefully you use this information during your game. I think HS Replay launched a new comps overlay in their deck tracker.
What is this? This is new. Dude, this is actually a good list. Oh no, man. That makes me scared.
I mean, this is kind of weird to say because, once again, I'm not sponsored by them. They're just merely providing a platform for them to use my guides, and I gave them permission to use my guide content for their tracker. But also, it'll make me pretty happy if you use this content. You can download the tracker to use it during your game if you want. And it's always going to be free, I'm pretty sure. And also one last thing, this is a bit of a sidetrack, but I wrote one tip for every single hero as well. So like you can click on a hero guide and you can see every single hero has my best tip. I try to keep them as practical as possible. You can see Yogg, you can see hero power until turn 6. You don't really have to hero power later in the game. Ysera, you want to force end of turn dragon. Zephyrus, use your first hero power 2 on early pairs to stabilize, and then you can use the last one on like a Bran or a Titus. I wrote one tip for every single hero, and also I try to keep them as practical as possible. That'll be it from me. Hope you enjoyed this kind of educational video. Just wanted to show you guys what I've been working on, and peace.